live in the
Yes,
second
he
one?
did.
There's Lonnie lived there.
Hey, what was the name of that guy in the Filipino? He used to call himself the world's biggest Filipino. Remember him? Played tennis? What was his name?
I even have a picture of him. I don't know. She's got the class list. You'll have to look through her class list. I have a picture of him.
Hey,
I
Kim,
wish I still, somewhere I still have.
do we have yearbooks going to be at Dukem?
I can call back over and have them bring them. Yes, absolutely.
If we could, I think, yeah, it'd be helpful as we're doing some memories here.
I had one last night.
And right up there is the part that I lived in where I burned holes in. I'm sure when I shot a bottle rocket into his chest.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. Patrick Cabrera. Let's not remember anything else that we did back then, right? Some things need to be forgotten.
Well, that's all I'm sharing.
I would say there's a mutual assured destruction policy, but I don't really have much on her.
Let's take it up.
You see me turn about 3
And the Holiday Inn Express should be just down the road here.
Oh. So up here on the left is where the old Hy-Vee used to be.
Oh yeah.
So that is now moved.
A Knight's
This
Inn.
now is now a Knight's Inn. It is actually this is the new Holiday Inn Express. So this used to be the old Best Western, and then over here to the right, then they had the Holiday Inn Express. So just all over the place you have things. Country Kitchen used to be over there.
Oh
to
yeah.
the left.
Yeah, Country Kitchen. Yeah.
Where was the Walmart?
So the Walmart was back over here to the left. We'll come back around that way.
So the Country Kitchen, they just what happened to it?
So it went out of business, and now it's a Diner 54, I think it is.
So it's still there?
It's still there.
Oh, okay.
It's still there. So this was Holiday Inn Express. They just built that new one. So this, I think, is going to become a different brand.
Country Inn and Suites.
Oh, is it Country Inn Suites? Okay.
So right now when people say they're at the Holiday Inn Express, that's the hotel?
It could be that one, or it could be that new one. I don't know if the new one opened up yet. It hasn't. So it must be that one.
We had reservations.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And they called us at the airport yesterday.
Oh, you're
They
kidding
say
me.
we're not open yet.
We got that call too.
Oh my God. Where'd you guys end up at?
Scrambled and found something at the Days Inn.
Oh my
wow.
gosh. That is so this building right up here, it says Cleaver Dermatology.
Oh, there
if
it
you
is.
know Lloyd, he has 3 boys, and they are there with him, although Nathan, I think, just moved with his wife down south. That used to be the State Farm building, but now is Cleaver Dermatology.
Oh,
did you?
Yeah, I spent the whole year working for him.
Neat family. Neat
They
family.
are.
Oh yeah.
So again, here with the green awning, that's where the old Hy-Vee would have been. And then this is somewhat new, the Coltons, but just beyond that is where you had the country club. And if you remember, the golf course is back here.
Oh, okay.
And in the country club building is where the original bogeys used to be. So Mike Abadessa, part of the pear tree down south, they had that. So Mike ran that for a while.
Where
and
was
then
Bogey's right now?
it was right here originally.
The original, which is before you guys came.
Yeah.
It had moved into town when you guys
Then it moved down. We'll show you where that is later on.
It was still out here.
This was the Shrine Club, and then just beyond the Shrine Club up here on the right is where Hollister's was located. Hollister's was the company that made all those plastic products for the hospital. So your wristbands, identification bands, colostomy bags, very, very big producer worldwide. So that was Hollister's right there. If you look to your left, Porcelain, this is where the old Walmart used to be. So you had Walmart, then you had JCPenney.
Well, it's going to be hard on these guys because of that super Walmart.
Well, yeah, they built that at the north side. If you look all the way in the back there, that's the old Laughlin Hospital.
Oh yeah.
And it now then became part of Preferred Family, which does drug and alcohol rehabilitation.
So do we have a psych hospital?
I don't know that we do or not. I don't believe so.
You're right. Well, there's an injury lawyer right there. Yeah. Big got a big injury lawyer.
don't know that we're going to go by it, but it's up here and to the right. But I don't know that we'll go by it. We'll see. We might be able to. These used to all be trailer parks, pawn shops. This was all cleared out, and they just added in these new buildings in here in the last 5 years, I'd say. Who remembers the Bonfoy Inn?
Oh yeah, I do. We ate that. Yeah. We ate that.
All right, the Bonfoy Inn was up here on the left.
It had that famous dessert. It was a flaming baked Alaska or something. It's still there. Yeah. Is the Bonfoy? What's happened to that?
Well, it was just a big, but it was over here on the left, and back there at the Casey's.
Is it gone with the wind too?
Yeah. Anybody remember Ken's Pizza? Ken's Pizza? That was here at the Taco Bell.
Oh my gosh, that's the old camera views and Ryder Drive.
Yeah, Ryder Drive. Camera with Mark. Mark, what's his name?
Make everything in the bean.
That is Kelly. Kelly's last name.
Yeah,
I don't blame him. Kelly Rogers. Kelly Rogers. So back in the 1950s, the Kirksville school district and board recognized that at one point in time they'd like to be able to bring everybody together and have one big complex, because in the old days in Kirksville you had all these local neighborhood schools, and so they brought them all together and bought this property out here, and I don't know how many acres it is, but now you have K through 12, but in different buildings. You've got K through 2, you've got 2 through 5, you've got middle school 6 through 8, and then you have the high school. But they put it all in this large complex here. And of course, this is where everybody gathers for football games and basketball games and all those things like that. But this is the Kirksville R3 School District, and we're going to go around here. You'll see that there's a walking path, so they made it very friendly for the kids to be able to get to school, but to also take a walk around. And then we're going to go down here and to the left, and you'll see our YMCA. So if kids need an after-school program, they'll be able to leave school, walk across the street, and then get into a sport or an activity or anything that they may want to do.
That's where they had graduation in May, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. That's right. So in May, Truman State was going through renovation of its old Baldwin Auditorium, so we were unable to do our graduation there as we usually do. So we ended up bringing it over here, and they've got a beautiful facility here.
That's when you saw me on the TV.
That one little road.
It was right here.
On the side of that field. Isn't that where he crashed that Trans Am at that time, or Corvette, or what?
Yeah, it was a red Corvette.
Red Corvette.
Oh, the red Corvette.
Yeah, and it was just on the spot.
I forgot about it. I tell you what I remember was Fred bringing his dad, and what was his dad's girlfriend's name? Susie, or?
I don't remember.
Anyway, brought him to my apartment because I had an old built-on side apartment, and it was slanted, so when the toilet overflowed one day, and it just kept on rolling right towards the kitchen, right? And it was just like, oh my God. So Fred said, oh, I gotta show you my friend's apartment. See, and I'm like, thanks, Fred, I appreciate that.
The kids should be in school, shouldn't they? It's on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Smells like this mowed the lawn.
Yeah, it smells good. Good thing I took my Claritin.
Amazing how these lawns, all these grass.
Yeah, they keep it up.
I remember us going over there and him having lost his tarantula, and everybody wondering where the hell the damn tarantula was. It was crazy.
Wow, look at that.
So these are, again, part of the YMCA, and if you see that building in the background, that's the new Adair County nursing home that they're building. So where the old one was at A.T. Still's original home site, they're now moving and going to be building out here. And just past us on the left, this was the administration for the Kirksville R3 School District, soccer and all that. So just kind of some visionary, you know, insight on what to do with the schools and the students, and then to be able to have these ancillary things with the YMCA. Around the other corner over here, you'll see a what they call K-Life, which is a Christian youth organization, again, located next to the schools if they want to be able to.
What is this building on the right?
That is the Fellowship Baptist Church, I believe.
Kirksville Gardens.
So up here on the left again is K-Life. It's a youth Christian group here in town. Gives the kids a place to go after school to hang out. Here on the right is Preferred Family Healthcare. They started here in Kirksville, and they took over the Laughlin Hospital and started with drug and alcohol rehabilitation. They have now expanded into multiple states. They were at, just 5 years ago about a $50 million company. They're now about a $200 million company. But it was all started and created out of Kirksville here. This is RAIL, it's Rural Advocates for Independent Living, and then this is some of the various housing that we have here in Kirksville. Up on the right is the Adair County Health Department. They've kind of made it easy for people to come in and get flu shots. They have a drive-through flu shot clinic.
Really?
Yep. Up on the north side.
Oh, further north?
Yeah, a little further north. Kind of behind the old Petite 3 Cinema when you're going down that road, Highway P, because you had to go through the S-curve.
Yeah.
I don't think so. So, if you're with some of my 92 folks here, I'm going to go back in time with you. One of the things that always cracked me up about Kirksville is you started off bar hopping in town, but only after 10 o'clock if you were cool. And then, of course, by 11, 11:30, 12, well, then you had to come out to the Oz. And the Oz is located right out here. Now, I always felt like it was a police trap, but that building right over there with the white and the gray shingle, that was the Oz. It's now Protec, which is a business supply, and it was right next to the Moose Club. But that's the world famous Oz. You remember it had that huge dance floor, and that second thing they had the big DJ up front, and quite the deal. But I was never so nervous than all the time driving this little stretch, because I thought, my God, they're just sitting there waiting for me to come by.
I forgot about the Oz.
And then get your name on the back page of the paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Leisure World. So this was
Leisure
bowling, and
Yeah.
they had the skating rink inside.
And what's it now?
Same thing.
Oh, well, okay. It's
Yep, same thing.
Yeah, we went bowling one time.
So in the old days, when you came up here on the right, this is where the old baseball fields were. So if you were a sports family, your kids or your family, you had softball games or baseball games out here. And over time, Hy-Vee realized that being at the south end of town wasn't the best location. If they could put themselves more in the middle, then they could draw from both ends of the city. So they ended up buying this area up here, and then they built the new Hy-Vee. So you'll see that as we come up here to the right. But there were others that joined them. A few years later, it'll be Catty Corner is the Walgreens. And so we now have a Walgreens in town. Across the way is Sherwin-Williams. And but if for those who are my coffee drinkers, raise your hand. Who's dying for a Starbucks? If you can't stand it, we've got a Starbucks right here in IV. So now you know where you can get your fix. That's where we're going. So here's the new Hy-Vee off to your right. Starbucks is in there to the left. We've got Sugar Creek Nursery back there. And Doc Pfeiffer, who was here in town for many years, he actually owns the Leisure World down the way there. But he's located right here on this corner. He works on this corner and he lives on that one.
So what you're saying is I could get Starbucks IV here?
Dr. Bohan or Dr. Riley? I'm trying to think. I would have thought it would have been Bohan, Riley. Boy, it's not coming to me. I'm not sure. There's a younger guy, Rick Gooch, but I don't think that's it because he didn't come around until later. So coming up here on our left is where Kirksville's swimming pool park was, and they've now named it the Aquatic Center, and they built it out, and it had a big slide and all that. I guess that's around the corner. First, I should point out that the Adair County Library. So you guys may remember the Sojourners Club. That was the library that was in downtown area. They moved out here, so there's the Adair County Library, and then the Aquatic Center is up here. Kirksville actually has
Do you remember that?
the distinction is the right word I'm looking for. Thank you. Ray Klingensmith is a citizen that lives here, but he was also Rotary International's president a few years ago. So in charge of all the Rotaries and all the Rotary clubs throughout the world, so that they named in his honor that that auditorium back there that you might be able to see. This is this is Rotary Park, so they renamed this to be Rotary Park. This used to be Seidenstrickers, where they would have the farm implements and different things like that. They've actually moved way up north of town, and this is now where Weber Bus is, what we're on. This is their headquarters now. If you needed anything from the hardware store, you went to Westlake's, and it's still here today. It's just up here on your left on the red. And if you didn't shop at Hy-Vee, you shopped at Food Barn. There you go. Food Barn was up here on the right. So Food Barn went out of business. I worked there, and it was great because you made great money. The reason we made great money is because we were unionized. But the problem is they couldn't continue to pay those wages and compete. So they ended up going out of business. So it's right in here where the Tractor Supply was and the International Eye Care. That was actually several things. It was Heilig Meyer's Furniture Store. It was also Patterson's, but now it's the Tractor Supply.
Didn't they have a fancy restaurant in there at one time?
That was Patterson's, yes.
Patterson, okay.
And this used to be Kmart.
Yeah.
So here's the movie theater up here on this thing right here. It was down where the El Vaquero restaurant was. That was the Petite 3 Cinema. And for those of you a little bit older, you'll remember Elaine's. So this is where Elaine's was, right here with the cinnamon rolls. It was right here on this empty lot right here. The Blue Moon was actually in town, but up on this north end up here. Everybody might remember Pancake City. If you don't, it's probably because you drank too much that night.
What year did Walmart move out here?
Oh, good question. I don't know that I know the answer to that.
After. It was not here, I'm telling you.
I think it was after.
Oh, the Quality Inn. There it is.
There's Quality Inn. Here's a Walmart. So now we're excited about our new Hobby Lobby. We'll be getting a Menards. Of course, you might remember that as the old drive-in theater. You remember the old drive-in theater? This is where it was located, up here on the left. In the old days, this used to be the Adair County Fairgrounds, and they moved that out further east. So that's what this area was at one time. And back behind the Hampton Inn, that now is our baseball complex and sports field. So everybody gathers around there.
Oh, wow, that's going to be nice. Hampton Inn. That's going to be nice.
Does anybody remember Rosie's Northtown Cafe?
Yeah.
Rosie's Northtown Cafe was located right here, and then they moved it right across the street up here to your left. So this is the new Rosie's Northtown Cafe.
I mean, with all these new hotels, I think it's going to be amazing how they can support it with the hotels they got. Plus that, it's going to be amazing.
So who remembers hearing back in May 13th of 2009 the big event that happened in Kirksville? Does anybody remember?
Tornado.
The tornado. So the tornado blew through Kirksville, and it came from the west and went to the east, and it came right up there to up by the Toyota sign. That was the car dealership that was totally ruined. And it went through there, went off into that other neighborhood, and then where Fred used to live was right over that way.
All right.
So it went over, because I forgot to point out, back there by Petite 3, that was Highway P, and you went out there, and that's where that S-curve was, and then you went north. So Fred's house was that way, probably about a half mile, maybe a mile.
Was that Jim Roberts?
Yes, this is Jim Robertson Chevrolet.
And now it's a Toyota.
Well, it always was part of it. It was Toyota, GMC, and Chevrolet. He had a multiple one. But it blew right through there, went all through that neighborhood, tore up houses. Unbelievable.
So basically bypassed the town.
It hit the north side of it. So it came through Novinger, and then it hit this very northern section of Kirksville. But we had a lot of students that lived over on that area over there behind this nicer neighborhood. There's a more regular neighborhood where they had a lot of rental apartments, and it did a number on them. I'm sorry? There were actually 3 people that were killed. I did not. I grew up in St. Louis, came here in 1987, and well, I've given this tour a few times, but yes, I did. I went to Truman. I had the GI Bill, so I went to the Army, and then I came up here and went to Truman, and then ended up coming over here to work. So, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
And then the police, they said, well, Turkey around was there.
So we're now up here at the upper limits of the city limits, and you can see we're edging right up against the farmland. A lot of cattle around here, a lot of corn, a lot of soybeans. We're going to take a left up here. This is Highway B, but also known as Industrial Road. And this is where a lot of Kirksville's industry was located. So in here you had Ortec, which made auto parts and braking systems for cars. You have Kraft Food, where they actually made ham and bacon products and things like that. They still do. You have Cinveo. Cinveo is an envelope company that makes envelopes. Trying to think what else you had out here.
Well, the Oscar Mayer Wiener was over there yesterday, so they do have the Oscar Mayer Wiener.
It might be up here. You might see the Wienermobile. If so, we'll ask the bus driver to drive slow so you can get a picture. I think this is wire rope. Wire rope actually makes wire cable that they use for suspension bridges and things like that. That's made here. This is one of the plants.
It depends on the day.
On our way out to the
Depends on my
house last
schedule.
night, there was a huge industrial building
Every day is
complex
different, so
right
all day.
Well, this is it, because up here is, yeah, this is the industrial area, because up here is the Highway 6, and then Thousand Hills is out that way.
So maybe it was just the front of one of the buildings.
Yeah, because it's several in a row. So this is our Army Reserve Center over on our right now.
That's a nice building.
Yeah.
So this is Vale, but it used to be known as Standard Register, and Standard Register used to print up all the, like, Domino's order forms, pizza forms, things like that. Vale took them over. This is Ortec.
What RVUs do they say you need to get per month?
And then up here on the left is Kraft Foods.
Wow. That's huge.
Oh, it's a very big plant.
Well, ours they say at least per month 400 RVUs.
But if you don't like working in the cold, you don't want to work there, because the average temperature is about, I want to say, 35 to 40 degrees all day.
I already average about 70, so I know.
There's the Wienermobile on your left.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like the 1960 era, doesn't it?
Yeah, August was horrible out there. So much inflation. I've never hit it this time. It's 100. I was so excited.
So here we are on Highway 6 again. This is how you'd head out towards Thousand Hills State Park, Forest Lake. Take this here, this runs you right into Walmart then.
Well, I wore a double ski mask and I wore, little gloves with it.
If you only did it every other week, so you can pick up extra shifts and do more. I mean, I take 4 weeks off of vacation at the most. But the most I take 2 to 3. So I can imagine doing 26 weeks off. I could just take 12 weeks, so I would work.
One of our funeral parlors here, Travis No. He's been around for a while.
This should take about a half hour.
Yes, there is a shoe factory. That was more towards the middle of the city on the western side. Down.
Floorshine, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
Is it Floorshine?
Floorshine, yes. All right, so does anybody know what's unique about this road, osteopathy? You lived on it? It's the only street named Osteopathy in the world that I'm aware of. I did a Google search and this is the only one.
Wow.
That's cool. Appropriately so.
I think so.
I don't know if you can patent that or something to prevent that from being used.
That's about right. Half an hour to right your nose.
Into the new medical center in Washington. Can't think of the name. Yakima.
This used to be the old
Yakima.
roadhouse.
Off the highway. I thought that was it.
Oh, well, we could look it up. See.
Everything's laid out. That's what look for, right?
Well, Toastmaster and Wire Rope used to be over here on the right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the first place I lived was off of, it was an osteopathy, and I'm trying to think of the cross street.
TV patient is about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's the one back.
Plus, I know them. They don't. Nothing changes from day to day. They're really quick. How you doing? Salmon.
Patterson. Yep, that little white house over there, Dad, in Patterson.
Was that right?
That was the first place I lived.
Really?
Yeah, like we could go buy it. Yeah. Get in the car and go buy it. It's a small little one-bedroom house.
So this little building right here is a part of A.T. Still University. This is where we house our print shop and our communications and marketing folks.
Really?
On the back side, this is J.C. Park.
So when did AT get there? When did you guys get there?
We've been there for several years. I mean, decades. I would say we're here when 92 years.
As soon as we left that house, I'm like, it's a little here.
We did. Because I remember
Was it on the corner?
Because it wasn't there when you came in '87, was it?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was after that. It might have been a little after that. So we're going to be coming up again on Petrilla Park and the lake that's on the right, where we kind of started off at. But we'll take you up around the city square and show you that. Yes.
So yeah, so I had a little distance to walk. Wow. So I would walk along this side.
Okay.
No, we could time it out with a car. It'd be interesting. But I did it all year without a car.
Heading that way. And then you just take a look.
I walked in the snow and heat.
What is this here?
Osteopathy Lake. Is that Osteopathy Lake?
It might have been called that at one time.
I just made it up.
Yeah, it's part of, I guess was originally Pickler Park and then later became Petrilla Park.
They call it lake anything or the pond or?
Yeah, they actually will put in trout every fall,
Okay.
and they can fish for trout all through the spring. Then they slowly die out or are caught, and then they restock it again in the fall. So again, coming up here, here's the old Theta Psi. We're coming up on the university and the hospital. Still great side here. Oh, it was a different place then? Ah, I see, okay.
So do they have any fraternities?
Good question. Hey, Kim. Hey, Kim. Let's see if I can't get her.
You might have to text her.
Do they still have fraternities?
At Truman?
No, at ATSU.
Oh, not that I know of.
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
So again, we're coming up and you've got Travelers on your right. Yeah, the tap room's closed. But you used to go down those stone steps right there, down that little way down. A few years ago, they rehabbed this next building, and now it's a restaurant. It used to be a microbrew, but it's called Maxwell's, and very, very nice place to eat.
Like that's where you guys stayed for graduation. Remember we had lunch or something? We were on the porch.
Oh, I don't remember.
I think that's where Perkins was. I think he was there and we were on the porch or something.
Oh.
So on your left, you got the Adair County Courthouse. And then if anybody might have bought an engagement wedding ring perhaps at Gardner Collier over here on your right. If you didn't do that, you most surely went to Polly Eyes. And Polly Eyes was located on the right, and it still is. I will tell you that it's no longer called a Ronza. They had to change the name of their signature item to Halonza because there was another restaurant in Northwest Missouri that claimed that they were using their name, and so instead of getting into the long drawn-out legal battle, they said, we're just going to call ours Halonza. Up here on the right used to be Troster's men's clothing store. Oh, yeah.
That burned down, didn't it?
That burned.
I don't know.
What is it with fire here?
Insurance payout.
They just burned
Over there.
Yeah, that's the courthouse right there.
That's too good. I remember this one.
Yeah, Taylor Flowers is up here.
was
A little more barren.
Where was Too Tall?
Old guys.
Where was Too Tall?
Too Tall's was up here to the right. Yep, up here to the right. Too Tall's burned down, but they built it back, but then I don't know what they've done with it. They haven't turned it back into a bar.
They got a cinema right there, a theater right there now. That's
Yeah,
an
so
8-foot.
here's your downtown cinema, 8. Does anybody remember Men's Tea House or Men's Cuisine?
Yeah.
So Men's Tea House was right up here on the right on that corner. And then there's Manhattan. Anybody remember the Manhattan?
Ate there many times.
The sign is still there. It is now a hair salon. But what I remember about that place was the unbelievable Greek salad and the freshly cut sliced bread. Oh, it was great. Greek food. Now we're going to be going to a place called the Duca. Now back in '92, I was a graduate of Truman. I didn't dare step my foot into the Duca. That was a local bar, and you were not advised to stick your foot in that door because that probably was the last time you were coming in and out. It has changed. It went through a change, I'd say almost, gosh, probably 15, 20 years ago. It is now a family-friendly, you have students, family, mothers, fathers, kids, they come in here. It's a great place, good food, and that's where we're going to take the rest of our tour here. So,
Why didn't they want you in there?
Kim, I'll turn it over to you. Anything you want to say? Or
So we have some staff members inside the Duke. When you go in, they'll give you drink tokens, and we have some hot after